genre.
The weekly podcast where we review, discuss, and recap every episode of Doctor Who, one doctor at a time. I'm Cassandra Fredrickson.
I'm Scott Corelli.
And I'm Nick Jimenez and the Empire of the Wolf.
And today...
I liked... So Nick says recap, and now you say recap.
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 I don't know what that accent was.
I don't know, but I'm into it. Recap.
It's my coffee accent.
We review, discuss, and recap every episode of Doctor. It's just that one word.
One doctor at a time.
One doctor at a time. Oh, God. So today on the show, we'll be discussing Tooth and Claw, the 10th Doctor's third story ever.
So this story, background for this story, directed by Euros Lyn again.
Returning champ Euros Lyn.
Yeah, directed our last story, Quiet Dead. Also written by Russell T Davies. So with this one, Davies at this point in the second season was sort of taking a if it's not broke, don't fix it approach to the show. Sure. So he literally just took the blueprint from the first season and redid it for this season. So each episode sort of matches up. You've got Rose and the Christmas Invasion. You've got End of the World and New Earth. And now you've got Unquiet Dead and Tooth and Claw. And so when he had Tooth and Claw, he was like, well, Unquiet Dead worked because it was the 1800s and it was Dickens, a historical figure. So this time, and ghosts. So this time we'll do 1800s Queen Victoria and werewolves. Literally,
this episode takes place 10 years after the events of the Unquiet Dead.
Right. So then, and then the other thing, he was like, and just for, good measure, we'll throw in some warrior monks because I just watched Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and I'm a big fan.
Nice.
Even got the same director.
Yeah. Wait, what? What'd you say? Euros Lyn Ang Lee?
No, I mean, even got the same director as the last episode.
Oh, as the last episode.
I think Euros Lyn directed Crouching Tiger, Hidden.
Yeah, that's what threw me, because that was the last thing I mentioned.
Could have worded that better.
So that was his concept for this story, and so he pitched it to a writer, a new writer a writer that was new to Doctor Who. The writer is not named for reasons you'll find out soon. So this writer. I don't know I actually don't know. I can assume it's a he probably. But so this writer wrote a story and ignored. So he was like, okay, so it's 1800s Queen Victoria. There are warrior monks and a werewolf. Go. He wrote a story where he was like, well,
like that.
He was like, well, I don't care about werewolves or monks, so I'm taking those out. And also, I don't want this to take place in Scotland, so it's going to take place at Buckingham Palace, and an alien insect is going to get stuck in Queen Victoria's eye. And that's what the story is going to be about.
What the heck?
And he wrote that story, and Davies read it and said, nope, and threw it out. And
Patrick
now
Ness, you are fired.
And then here was the thing. So then he was like, well, it's a good thing because one of the things that happened was because he knew that he wanted to take this new blueprint approach to his version of Doctor Who to the seasons, he was commissioning scripts for stories that he didn't necessarily need right now. And in this spot, he was actually planning on doing a story called The Runaway Bride, which would then become the Christmas special later on. And when BBC commissioned a second Christmas special, he was like, okay, they're like, what do you have? And they're like, Runaway Bride here. And they're like, all right, great. And he's like, great. And then he got the script from that other writer and he's like, oh, damn it. Now I need a script. So then he sat down and wrote the story himself, Tooth and Claw, in a single draft and got it to pre-production in the nick of time.
That's crazy.
Also interesting to note, the Mill, who is responsible for all of the special effects in Doctor Who, they were actually really excited to do the werewolf in this because they were promised a werewolf and had designed a werewolf for another movie that came out around this time. And the director told them that they didn't like the model that they had created and wanted, because he didn't want it to look like a werewolf. They wanted it to look like this like mythical beast, not like a werewolf. So they had to throw out their werewolf model and start over. And so they had this werewolf model laying around. So they were like, yeah, let's do a werewolf because then we can reuse that werewolf design that we used. That film was Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
I knew it. Oh my God.
That's so weird because I had no idea about that. But when the werewolf transforms in this episode, I thought it looked a lot like Professor Lupin.
Yeah. Same transformation effect. Different werewolf design. The original werewolf design.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a good looking werewolf.
It is a good looking werewolf, but it's not as iconic and weird looking as the one in Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah, the one in Prisoner of Azkaban is so like ugly and like thin and
it's like gothic. It's like a gothic werewolf.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
It looks like a naked bat without wings.
Yeah. I'm into it though.
Yeah, I love it.
And it's also, it looks like Lupin.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like
Wells.
lanky, you know?
Yeah, kind of lanky and like strung out. It kind of fits the whole metaphor of like werewolf as a metaphor for addiction.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strung out.
Great. God, that movie. All right. Anyway, we have a podcast on the network that's going to cover that in like 2 years. And I'm going to be want to be on every episode because that movie's a masterpiece. But couple of other super minor
And
things.
I have a feeling there's one week in particular, Scott, that you and I are very qualified to talk about.
Yeah, I know. Maybe we can convince him to each get separate weeks and then do that week as like a crossover event kind of thing.
We're back.
Yeah. Anyway, so these two things are the things that break my heart with this story because these both would have been incredible and would have really brought this up a peg for me. So one was that originally in the scene where where the Doctor is meeting Queen Victoria was going to demand that he come up with a name. But because he's supposed to be Scottish, his usual John Smith alias wasn't going to work. So on the fly, he comes up with the pseudonym James Robert McCrimmon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is the full name for Jamie McCrimmon. And then they didn't get to use it. So that sucks.
Doesn't he say?
Yeah, he does.
He says Jamie McCrimmon.
Oh, it says that Davies initially planned for the Doctor to give his name to Queen Victoria. I guess I read that wrong.
No, you're fine. He definitely says like I'm Dr. James McCrimmon when he presents the psychic paper.
Okay, I misread this.
You're
okay.
fine.
Yeah. I read it as the Doctor was having difficulty coming up with something and came up with James Robert McCrimmon. But what I'm reading is that Davies had difficulty coming up with something that was equivalent to John Smith.
Oh, fun.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, all right. So that's cool. I really like that.
Yeah, it's a
But
fun
then
little...
the thing that definitely didn't happen was that Davies originally wanted the werewolf to kill Queen Victoria,
Jesus.
which would have been the event that would have caused the creation of the parallel universe of Rise of the Cybermen: Age of Steel.
Ooh. That's
Interesting.
cool.
That's
So
really
it would have been
ambitious.
set up here. Like, she would have died, and they would have been like, What? That?
Okay, bye.
Wait, what? Yeah. That. Hold on.
And Rose is like, but wait, you can't die in the past. And the doctor's like, oh my God, no.
And then the other super small thing, which I really like, is that David Tennant was so excited to use his Scottish accent in this, his natural Scottish accent. He was super, super into it. And then he actually started doing it, and he was so used to playing the Doctor with an English accent that he kept slipping back into his English accent.
Oh.
Because he didn't know how else to play the Doctor.
Yeah, it's watching this episode, it's kind of a testament to his performance in that he really doesn't gain any naturalness by playing it in his accent because he already is so at home in the character.
Yeah. Exactly.
What order did they film this in? Like,
What order?
yeah, because like it's the third one that they
Aired.
but
yeah.
I know they film out of order. So like, how comfortable was he in the role already? I guess
It was Block 2.
Oh, okay.
It was Block 2. It was filmed back to back with Girl in the Fireplace.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
Yeah.
A fun week.
Euroslide. But yeah, so that's all I got for this story. Sorry about I don't know why the Jamie McCrimmon thing is in this background thing. It's in the story, but
And
whatever.
time will forgive you.
So okay.
The greatest cold open in the history of the show.
Oh,
No, I hate everything about this story.
Oh my God! There's months,
I think this is a garbage
and they
story.
They use kung fu.
I
And the guy's
love this.
It's
Right, but
one
what
of
do you
the
do?
worst stories of Doctor Who, in my opinion.
We're
"I ordered
fighting
the
now.
fist. The
Yeah.
fist of
Well, you
man."
didn't like Unquiet Dead, so whatever.
Yeah, but I didn't actively dislike it.
Oh, I hate this.
Oh my God.
Oh, the
I
whole
hate
episode.
this. I hate the stupid white kung fu monks. I hate it so much.
I thought I was
direction.
watching the wrong episode for a long time.
I hate the story. I hate the direction in this with the snap zooms that they kept doing and like the weird like digital push-ins, and it's an ugly story, and I just and Rose is a little dick in this. Like I just she's really, really like disrespectful. It's like everything that I hate about, like, the only story worse this season with the Doctor and Rose, Ten and Rose being at their absolute unbearable worst. This is second, and Idiot's Lantern is number one. They're just little jerks in this. They're like making fun of Queen Victoria.
It was really weird watching this episode right after The Unquiet Dead.
Ugh.
Yeah.
You really do like, oh wow, Rose really did kind of become a different person, like
Yeah.
with 10, which, happens, I guess. You're a different person when you're with different friends, I guess. But yeah, like the running joke of like her trying to make the Queen say that she's not amused was kind of like a little too cute for its own good, I thought.
Well, I didn't think it didn't come off as cute to me. It came off as like snide, like those kids who are like trying to make fun of the mentally challenged kid and trying to get him to say, like, quote something or something.
Yeah.
Like, it reminded me of that scene in Can't Hardly Wait when those kids are like teaching the foreign kid to say terrible things in English. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like it's that kind of vibe to me. where it's like, you're dumb and you don't know that you have a catchphrase and I'm going to make you say it, you idiot.
Yeah, but she's the queen.
But she's the queen of England. Like, I hate this story. I hate it so much. I don't like werewolves in Doctor Who. I don't think they belong in Doctor Who.
I mean, technically.
Wait, oh my god! It just hit me that there was a werewolf in Doctor Who. Wait,
yeah.
Oh, wait! Hold on. As soon as you said that, I literally like stood up, and I'm like, did they ever explain why it was a werewolf or how he became a werewolf?
It's an alien, and
okay, cool.
In the 1500s, it crash lands, and there's like a bit of it that survives, and they infect like these people, and I guess through infecting people over the centuries, it's like it regrows and like becomes magnified, and it like manifests as the werewolf.
Oh, that's the most convoluted reason to have a werewolf on your show ever. This episode is awful.
I love this episode.
It's definitely.
I'm gonna shut up now so that you guys can talk about how much you love it, because I hate it so much. Anyway,
I like when they take things that are like conventional sci-fi or fantasy things like werewolves or vampires and give it like a crazy Doctor Who reason. Like, I don't know, I just
like ghosts.
Yeah, like ghosts or like actual like vampires, and you know, like the 11th Doctor.
Oh yeah, vampires in Venice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were just fish. They were like fish aliens.
Yeah, but this is just a weird moon wolf alien.
Right, but they weren't. But the fish aliens didn't look like vampires. They had like crazy fish teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that this
these look like werewolf? This is a werewolf. Like, it's just a werewolf. It's not like a werewolf with antenna. It's just a werewolf.
That'd be amazing.
I like when
if this was a werewolf with antenna, I would be on board.
Wait, what about that? What about that alien in the Unicorn and the Wasp that was just a giant wasp?
Like a giant bee.
I hate that too. I hate that too. But I hate that for multiple reasons.
But it's not because that's not my favorite episode because of the giant wasp.
No, and that is a great episode, but the alien wasp is dumb, and also I'm terrified of bees. So
yeah,
right.
I don't know. I just
what podcast was it where we talked about bees for like 10 minutes?
I don't know. Probably not writing.
Okay.
I think it was this one. Oh my god, it was because Delta and the Bannerman, the crazy bee man.
Oh
yeah, we were like, why are bees so important, but they're so like scary?
Yeah.
My bee phobia.
First thing I want to ask God.
I have legitimately had a nightmare in which I was attacked by a swarm of bees in the shape of a giant bee.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Yeah.
Like Winnie the Pooh bees when they form like an angry face.
Right.
And a swarm.
Yeah. They impaled me with their stinger made of like hundreds of them.
That's so scary.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, if it's any consolation, all those bees that stung you died.
I don't think not before I did. That's for sure.
That reminds me of that really amazing part in Bee Movie.
Oh my god!
Where the Matthew Broderick bee is like, "Hey, are you going to Tom's funeral?" And he goes, "No, I'm not going to Tom's funeral. Everyone knows if you sting someone, you die. I'm not going to waste that on a dog."
Aww.
It means a bee stung a dog and died.
God, that movie's weird.
It is a weird movie.
Anyway, talk more about the dumb kung fu werewolf monks.
I can't because they go away after that cold open.
It's like the most Russell T episode to ever Russell T.
The only thing that could have been more Russell T Davies is if all the monks like pizza. Or were like into Big Brother or something.
You just
like if Rose taught them all how to do
from other episodes that he's done.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of. I liked the Are you okay? You hear that? Anyway, my dog is just like spazzing on the floor. So I liked the reveal. So when the doctor sees the telescope and he just starts like talking smack about the telescope, it's like, your dad was stupid. What a stupid telescope this is. And then later on, he's like, it's not a telescope, it's a weapon. And like, I thought that was a cool little reveal. That like, oh, the man actually knew what he was doing when he made that thing.
Yeah.
With the Kohinoor diamond that she just carries around.
You know.
Yep.
I thought Queen Victoria was really. I think the actress playing Queen Victoria, Pauline Collins, was great.
Yeah, it's a pretty thankless role.
Yeah, but I like how she just never took any of the Doctor and Rose's crap.
Right, and rightfully so, because they're assholes in this.
Yeah, like that part where
you know that part at the end of Back to the Future when Doc is like, you have to come back to the future, and Marty says, why, what do we become assholes or something? And he's like, no, it's your kids. The Doctor and Rose have become assholes or something.
Are you referring to the part where that man died? And Rose is like, but werewolves though, right? And then they hug, and the Queen's like, what's wrong with you people?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Yeah, my chief, my captain of the guard just got mutilated by a werewolf.
Just bullies. I hate them. Anyway.
Well, they break up.
Yeah, I know, and it's glorious. And then they do a whole season where they threaten to bring them back together. So, there's something I want to bring up in this episode. Please do.
Okay.
So there's a part where it's implied that Queen Victoria might be a werewolf.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And then as they're walking back to their TARDIS, the Doctor and Rose are kind of like, well, no, that, and then the Doctor's like, well, I mean, the Doctor, she did have hemophilia, but but no one else in her family had hemophilia before her, and then everyone after her had hemophilia. So maybe they were werewolves. Apparently that is all argle-bargle.
Argle-bargle?
Oh, so that's not even a loophole that they found.
No, apparently it's like it's kind of like
it's just complete BS.
Well, it's sort of in the same bowl of BS as like Queen Elizabeth being a man. It's like a famous bit of gossip, but it's kind of since been historically disproven. I don't know if it had been disproven when this episode aired back in 2006, but there were traces of hemophilia in the royal bloodline prior to Queen Victoria.
Oh.
Honestly, I stopped listening after you mentioned that there's a rumor that Queen Elizabeth was a man, because I've never heard that before.
Oh yeah, no, that's a very famous. I mean, it's like it's super fringe history, you know.
Yeah.
But even that has more credence than the theory that. Anyway.
All right.
I went to school for acting. I know a lot about the royal family.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so this episode is really dumb, but I love it a lot.
I had fun. I had fun watching it, and I think the thing with Cass and I is I don't really have the same issues with Ten and Rose, but if I did, I could see why this would not be a fun episode to watch.
I mean, that's not the only reason. I also hate that there's a werewolf, and I hate the kung fu,
the monks,
the white kung fu monks.
Mm-hmm.
They look like they take off their robes, and they look like they should be picking up garbage on the side of the road because they're like geese or like bright orange.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they all look like skinheads, so they just look like the Nazi gang from prison are picking up garbage on the side of the road.
Oh my god!
Because they're all white,
right?
Yeah,
none of them are Asian, and yet they're monks, and they know kung fu. I hate this story. This is stupid. I hate everything about
Maybe
it.
the wolf alien taught them kung fu.
I don't care. Honestly, if the wolf alien knew kung fu, I mean, that would be amazing. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's not, to me, I don't think this story goes ridiculous enough for me to come back around and love it.
Sure, like it never quite reaches those like Delta and the Bannerman lengths.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Or Paradise Towers.
Right. If it had gone that crazy, I would be on board. But I don't think it goes that crazy, and then I get distracted by all the terrible Ten and Rose stuff. And
Like if Queen Victoria was like, there's one thing you might not know about me. And then she like takes Crane's dance.
oh my God.
She's like, we are not amused. And then she like,
She's like an intergalactic werewolf hunter. Oh,
yeah.
Kung Fu werewolf hunter. Look, that would be incredible. That would be so amazing. No one could possibly not love this story.
Or if Queen Victoria does turn into a werewolf and then she fights the evil werewolf.
And then, oh my God, that would have been so good too, because then her catchphrase after when she's about to like fight the werewolf would be, "I am not amused," and Rose would be so distracted by how badass it was that she wouldn't be able to make fun of it.
Yeah.
Oh, it would have been amazing.
And then it turns out that the werewolf actually killed Prince Albert.
Oh my God.
Instead, we
"You killed Albert."
Instead, we get a dumb scene where she finally says, "I am not amused," and they laugh, and Queen Victoria acts like their principal.
Queen Victoria's
"Why are
like,
you-"
get out. They're like,
Yeah.
She's
like,
you know what?
You have both been expelled. Get out.
You know what? I know I just knighted both of you, but now you're also banned from ever coming back to my kingdom again.
That is so stupid. I just this is an episode that is like the epitome of why I was tired of Russell T Davies when his era was coming to a close.
Well, it sounds like he wrote this in like 2 days.
yeah.
I know.
Literally.
And but he did that a lot after this because this episode
I did it.
This episode proved that he could do it.
Mm-hmm.
So then he would do it all the time. And this story is just like he wanted them to be knighted by Queen Victoria, but he also wanted Queen Victoria to exile them, and he couldn't decide which one to do, so he just did them both. And it doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. I hate this story so much.
So there is also something else that happens at the end of this episode. Why it's notable.
Why is it called Torchwood, Nick? Why?
Because there's a sign right behind Queen Victoria that says the Torchwood Estate.
Okay. Fine.
So it's named. So it's named in honor of that place where that werewolf was.
Okay.
Well, yeah,
Believe
isn't
me,
it?
I used to think it was random too. The watching it this time was the first time I ever noticed the sign that said Torchwood Institute
Well,
or Estate.
She says it.
And I was
She
like-
says it too, like previous
Yeah.
in the episode. But don't they like
Yeah.
build the original one like in the building?
I believe so. But yeah, this is the first time that I ever know. I used to think it
The one from the finale, the skyscraper one, or the one from the show?
No, like there's like different Torchwood branches. So like this one's Scotland, and then the other one's Cardiff, and then the one in the show is
right. I keep forgetting they're in Scotland in this.
yeah. Oh man, David Tennant's Scottish accent, A+.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
But
Well-
So yeah, the founding of Torchwood happened
by Queen
because of
Victoria.
werewolves, like Queen Victoria.
I think it's funny that like he literally ripped off like not like ripped off, but like the Unquiet Dead. Like in the Unquiet Dead, there's that really cheesy scene where the TARDIS is spinning through the vortex, and then the Doctor and Rose fall on the ground, and then it's the same thing that happens here, and it's weird watching them back to back.
I'm glad that you reminded me of that. I brought it up last time, and I got distracted by all the red I'm seeing. But yeah, like he literally just copies the thing that happened in Gatus's episode.
Yeah.
And just has them do it too. And it's ridiculous. It's
cute, Scott.
It's not cute.
No, I
don't. Not when they're doing it.
Oh, one good thing about this episode, that famous quote about books.
Oh yeah,
right.
greatest weapon in the world.
Yeah, and it's like shot with
like a training montage.
Yeah, well, it's shot like with a Dutch angle, and then it does that snap zoom in where he puts on his
glasses,
smart specs. It's just
his brainy specs.
It's really cheesy in like not a fun way to me.
You know what would have been great? Picture this. So he's like, "What are we gonna do?" And Doctor's like, "I know what we're gonna do. I'm gonna library. Books are greatest weapons in the world, and we have an arsenal." Cut to a big old stack of books. Everyone has a big old stack of books, and the werewolf busts through the door, and the Doctor's like, "Beat him!" And then just throw books at him. Get out, you bastard! And the wolf's like,
that would have been the greatest moment in Doctor Who history. So many missed opportunities, you guys.
Oh my god. I'm sorry you don't like this one as much as I do.
God, just imagine a kung fu werewolf with antenna fighting a kung fu Queen Victoria intergalactic bounty hunter. Oh, that would have been amazing.
We're not disagreeing that would have been better.
You're right.
While the Doctor and crew are throwing books at them, like just the most incredible thing ever. Anyway, I hate
now I'm excited. Well, I think I don't know. I'm kind of liking how unpredictable weeks are. I'm excited to find out what we think of Victory of the Daleks.
Yeah.